Hi there, folks. This is Mark Smith with Family Tree Counseling Associates. I have a video today called Romantic Love is a Magnifying Glass for Childhood Wounds. Now, dudes, I'm not using the word narcissistic abuse in the title. That doesn't mean that this can't help you uh, in understanding why you went through such a horrific relationship or several horrific relationships. So I was working with a couple, and this couple they're like graduate level therapy. They're just super insightful and just delightful to work with. They just pull material out of me that I don't even know is there because they're just so teachable and so insightful. And uh, the woman in the relationship, she had this insight. She said, "Oh, you mean it's like I'll call him Dave. It's like Dave is like a magnifying glass to my unresolved childhood issues." And in my head, I should have interrupted right there and said, "Hey, can I use that for a video?" Because it just instantly clicked to me that it was brilliant. And then I did a little research on magnifying glasses, and we'll find out how brilliant that really was. But have you ever wondered why your adult relationships romantically seem to be worse than your childhood? Not everybody experiences that, but many of us had shitty childhoods, but then horrifically nightmarish romantic relationships. And you're just like, if this is related, why is it so bad? Well, this magnifying glass insight gave me some insight into that. So, my story is I had a borderline mom and I was horrifically abandoned and controlled and verbally abused and used. Uh, but then when it came time to get married, I married a codependent. I instinctively fooled Mother Nature and I didn't pick a narcissist. But in midlife, I was 45 years old and I was ripe for the picking. And there was a stream of multiple, uh, women who had borderline traits that sort of um, caused me to, really reenact some family of origin stuff. It was such a powerful pull. Um, but here's the deal. What I learned was the reason those relationships were horrific was because my mom was horrific. But I didn't really remember the most horrific parts because the most horrific parts for me were the first 3 years. And most of us have very few memories of those first 3 years. So by interacting with my mother before she passed and some letters, I've been able to sort of piece together what happened to me, that she really abandoned me horrifically. And she really wasn't who everybody else thinks she is. Yesterday was August the 6th, 2017. My mother died on August the 6th, 1997, 20 years ago yesterday. And last night, my social work daughter texted me and was wondering if I was hurting. And I wasn't hurting at all because the truth is, my mom, she really wasn't a good person. And I really didn't lose much. And what I lost was sort of a fantasy, sort of an illusion. I lost an illusion of who she was. And a lot of my siblings still believe, oh, she was a good mom and she cooked us good meals and she was, Virginia Pat the Democrat. And it's bullshit. She was very selfish and very wounded and very damaged. And uh, I'm not going to pretend that she was some kind of really good mom when there was parts of her that were pretty monstrous. But What a relationship will do is it'll magnify your unresolved issues and it'll burn you up. And that's what we need. So if you've been involved with a narcissist, you need to do some research on your family of origin issues, because that's where it comes from. You cannot, you will not pick a narcissist if you grew up with Aunt B and Andy and Father Knows Best and Beaver Cleaver. It doesn't happen. You're gonna pick somebody who loved you the way you were loved when you were little. That's an immutable law of nature. So don't feel like you grew up in a healthy home and then you turned around and married 3 different narcissists. That's just not the truth. So the truth is, romantic love is not very loving at all. Romantic love is you're going to pick somebody who's going to love you in a very similar way as you were loved growing up. And for most of us, that isn't very good. Okay, so I did some research on magnifying glasses and I found out a couple of really cool things. So number one, what I've always taught you guys is romantic love will cause you to misperceive reality. You're going to be so in love and so stoned on love that you don't see who that person is. So on the website physicsforums.com, it says this about a magnifying glass. A magnifying glass, in effect, tricks your eyes into seeing what isn't there. Light rays from the object enter the glass in parallel, but are refracted by the lenses so that they converge as they exit and create a virtual image on the retina of your eye. This image appears to be larger than the object itself because of simple geometry. Your eyes trace the light rays back in straight lines to the virtual image, which is farther from your eyes than the object is, thus it appears bigger. So not only will a magnifying glass help you to read up close and help you to scrutinize. So a magnifying glass, it helps you to scrutinize your issues, but this here is saying it'll cause you to see what's not there. And that's what happens in romantic love. You see stuff that isn't there. The second thing I've always told people is romantic love, it brings focus to your unresolved childhood issues, and then it lights them on fire. And that's another thing a magnifying glass can do. When I was looking for pictures for this, there was pictures of little boys with magnifying burning up ants. They're putting the fire to ants. But I finally found a picture where it was a big hand and it was firing up a man, which is what happens in relationships. So this is how physicsforum.com talks about the power of a magnifying glass to burn something. It says light is an electromagnetic wave depending on how you look at it, and it carries energy. With a magnifying glass, you are concentrating the energy entering the area of the lens into one single point. That is sufficient to raise the temperature of that single point high enough for a chemical reaction to occur. Each ray of light contains a small amount of energy. If you have a magnifying glass that is 2 inches around, but without the lens in place, then the light goes right through the empty ring where the glass would normally be, and it strikes the paper and the energy is spread out. But if you put the lens in place, it will take the same light and focus it on a small area of the same size in that single point. And all this concentrated light means a high localized energy, which is enough to heat up and burn paper. It is not so much that it's not so much as the light as it is the lens, what the lens does to the light, which is it focuses it. So I like where it says the lens focuses the light, and then it causes a chemical reaction. And what happens when you meet somebody who fits your psychological profile? A lot of times you'll have a chemical reaction. You'll be attracted. There's just this immediate energy in the room between the two because you fit their bill and they fit your bill. And there's this psychological chemical reaction. But later on, the same energy that drew you to this person will be the energy that lights you on fire. So what am I saying here, folks? I'm saying that romantic love and romantic pain is all good. That you don't get victimized in relationships. You're certainly going to get traumatized if you had an abandoning childhood or a childhood with a narcissist or several narcissists or really bad addicts. But you're not going to get victimized. You're going to have an opportunity to turn the pain and the wounding of your childhood that was unresolved, this monster, this person who is the real truth about who your parents really were, or at least somebody in your childhood who abused you or abandoned you, they're going to light you on fire, and that gives you an opportunity to heal and to grow and to be blessed more than you ever have in your life before. So the emphasis should not be put upon the monster, upon the narcissist. The emphasis should be put on the proactive possibilities, of the power of love, the power of the magnifying glass. It's about ready to storm here, and all kinds of leaves are fallen to the ground. It's sort of spooky. So embrace your romantic pain and learn from it, and squeeze every little bit of growth and insight that you can out of your romantic relationships. They all mean something, and they all can provide growth, and nobody makes a mistake, and nobody gets victimized. It's all an opportunity to be scrutinized by the magnifying glass of Mother Nature. So that's all I had to say on this topic. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to our channel if you haven't done that. If you do subscribe, then you'll automatically be notified on Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock when we have our live stream show. My wife Brenda and I have the live stream show every Tuesday night from 8 o'clock to about 9:30. And then the other thing is I've got some books. I've got a book on Narcissistic Abuse Syndrome recovery, transforming narcissistic abuse into gold. And it's only $4.95, and it's got just about everything I know on the topic. And I got some other books on abandonment and shame. Thank you for watching. God bless.